Hey, what's up, everybody? It's 2 o'clock. It's Friday. It's the Bullpen. I'm your host, Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky. We're here live at Toyota Field, doing what we always do, killing an hour of your time, hopefully making you laugh a little bit, talking about what we love, which is sports and just what's going on in our life. Today, we, of course, have plenty of Trash Panda news as we're getting closer and closer to the baseball season. We are gearing towards baseball news everywhere. We're trying to get some baseball guests lined up as well. We're going to talk a little college basketball as we get closer to conference championships, about a month out from that, the conference tournaments anyway. And then March Madness is getting here. The SEC starting to heat up with Alabama and Tennessee that went down on Wednesday. We've got Auburn and UNA baseball playing here on Tuesday. That's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 days from now, we've got college baseball here, and then we've got like a 2-3 week stretch where we're going to have some high school baseball games here. And then we've got Alabama playing MTSU in baseball here. And then it's the Trash Panda season. So a ton of baseball. We actually had the coaching staff for the Trash Pandas released yesterday. So we'll discuss.
They were all relieved of their duties?
I'm sorry, the list of the coaches was released to the
good.
public.
I was going to say, that'd be a rough time. Breaking news, the Trash Pandas have fired every coach they have.
Ahead of spring training.
In a bold experimental move, 40-some days before the season, the Pandas go coachless.
First base coach will be Sonny DeShera.
Third base coach will be a fan in Section 11.
If you want to sponsor the fan third base coach, we're working on the name. We'll get that figured out. You can be a part of that. But no, they have a coaching staff. It was released to us, the public.
Okay.
Yesterday.
We do have coaches. The Section 11 thing will not apply.
We have some familiar coaches. We have several that are coming back for, I think there's one that's been here the entire time, his third season here at the Trash Pandas. Andy Schatzley is coming back. We've got a couple of new faces, some new faces to coaching period that have barely been in coaching. That's a lot of fun, but have a really good background. We have, I did want to touch a little bit on some Braves baseball too, given that, Max Fried, with the Braves free agent luck they've had lately with Freddie going, Dansby going, Max Fried, I think it was Max Fried, his arbitration, he lost his arbitration, so the Braves still have him under control for a couple years, but if they don't sign him to an extension soon in 2024, he's a free agent, so you don't want to lose another big staple of the Braves. Fred McGriff, who we did a
He's
segment.
back?
Yeah, dude, we did. Well, no.
Is this arbitration hearing from 1993 finally? Did those 30 years pass? We can sign him again?
We did a segment of, we were drafting the best players to not be in a professional Hall of Fame, and you drafted Fred McGriff. And shortly after that, the committee that puts in, the Veterans Committee that puts in guys that slip through the cracks, put Fred McGriff in the Hall of Fame. And
they recognized.
In Major League Baseball, you get to pick what team is represented on your plaque. So we'll discuss about what Fred McGriff picked on his. Again, we'll talk the Alabama-Tennessee game that happened on Wednesday and so much more. But let's go ahead and start with the Trash Pandas coaching staff. I hope you all are doing well, by the way. You can get in on the YouTube. If you're watching live, you can comment there. If you're on wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening, and it's a replay, if you have any thoughts about what we're talking about, just jump in on Twitter. You can. I'm at Tony Trash Panda. Ricky's at Tricky Ricky RCTP. You can jump in any way you want to to get at us there, and we'll reply and carry on the conversation with you. Hurricane Shane gets in.
Hurricane Shane.
It says, will there be a March Madness men's basketball bracket challenge this year? I'm needing to win some more Trash Pandas tickets.
Yo, Hurricane Shane wants to make some picks. We should do that.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, when before we were supplied the tickets at the radio station from here, but now I work directly at the source. I got to have to work that out.
I'll get them.
So, but
I'll get them.
Yeah,
How many did you give away?
The idea is
I don't
remember. I have no idea, dude. You know how much has changed.
Was it even real? Did you even give away tickets?
Absolutely.
All right.
You know how much has changed since March of last year, the beginning of April of last year?
Like in your life?
Yeah, I had a kid. I've changed jobs. I've changed professions.
I'm not asking for a whole biography. I was just
happened.
curious what you gave a person once.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Lots happened.
All right. I'll just.
Hey, do you remember?
Was it like a pair of tickets? Was it a lot of tickets?
Do you remember last year, like right before, like the week before opening day, here, like early April 1st or April 2nd? What'd you have for breakfast? You remember?
Eggs Benedict.
I don't believe you. You're full.
Hollandaise sauce. With a side of fresh cantaloupe. Maybe some honeydew.
You're full of it.
Whatever.
Liar.
Whatever. We'll get a prize.
But yeah,
we should do it.
Yes,
We'll do it. We'll get some tickets.
We will definitely
Maybe throw in a little swag as well.
do a March Madness deal there.
Maybe.
Get some cool giveaway stuff, hopefully. So
Hurricane Shane.
we're going to figure it out. We'll definitely figure something
You
out.
got a cool nickname that rhymes with your name, like Hurricane Shane?
Not much rhymes with Antonio.
Bones. Old Bony Tony over here. Antonio.
I can't. I'm not bony Tony anymore. I'm over 200 pounds.
The Tone Wolf.
I was bony when
How
I
about
was a
that?
kid. I put on a little pad.
The Tone Wolf.
The Tone Wolf.
Ow! Yeah. All right. If you were a singer, that'd be a good one. If you were in like a quartet,
Can't carry it to
the Tone Wolves. That'd be a great
That is a
quartet
good
name.
one. That is a good one.
Rick. Slick. I guess the Tricky Ricky thing.
Tricky
but that's,
Ricky, Slick Rick. Common, lame.
I always wanted to try to use the name Ricochet as a kid,
That's cool.
but it's not.
That would be your superhero name if you were if you had superpowers. Ricochet would be it.
Man, a pro wrestler came out like 5 years ago. They called him Ricochet. And I was like, man, come on, dude. He's
been a
stealing
good
my
pick.
gimmick that I've never used in public once. How dare
How did you know?
How did you know, man? And I looked it up. I was like, I bet that guy's name's Rick because he's probably like me. He grew up his whole life thinking, what would my name be? Maybe I'd be Ricochet. I looked it up. His name's like Shane. I'm like, you're not even a Rick who was just saddled with having a bad name for a gimmick, and then he went with.
Could have been Hurricane Shane.
It could have been Hurricane Shane, and he took Ricochet, and now I'm Hurricane Rick, and no one cares.
I think you were the Kool-Aid Man 007.
Yeah.
Yeah, still.
Xbox Live, baby. Still
So-
got that Halo account.
Oh man, that Ricochet's a good one.
It would have been.
What would your superpower be if you were like a superhero?
I'm just bouncing off stuff because I'm
Yeah.
Ricochet.
You like made of rubber?
Whoa.
Rubber Rick. Just,
Look at him. Can't stop him. And that's what Ricochet the wrestler does. So he's really touche. Touche, Shane. Not Hurricane Shane, but the Shane the wrestler who stole my gimmick.
really went in and got your gimmick all the way, didn't he? Okay. All right, so the Trash Pandas coaching staff this year.
Rickshaw.
You're gonna have,
I'm a roll. You about to get rolled over by the rickshaw.
you can get Rick rolled.
You about to get rickrolled by the. I wish I was gonna do it like a train horn or something, but a rickshaw doesn't make noise. Like a creaky old wooden wheel, maybe, but that's not threatening. What's that noise? It's the rickshaw. And nothing cool.
You can get Rick rolled.
I guess.
Right before you do your finishing move can be the dance from Never Gonna Get
We need to get a rickshaw to use for Trash Panda games.
What is
Me
it?
and Sprocket could be pulled out by rickshaw to start every
I
game.
can see that you're going to go down this road. You're going to say this word enough to where I'm going to have to ask you what it is. I was hoping we could skate by it without.
You don't.
I have no idea what a rickshaw is.
Oh my God! What a dummy! You're so stupid.
What is a rickshaw?
What's a rickshaw?
What's a-
You know that thing with the wheels and it's got like seats on the back, and it's got the sticks on the front because a person pulls it. You ever seen those in like big cities? You can get a rickshaw ride.
Oh.
I can't believe you didn't know what that was.
I know what that is. I had no idea what that was
wheels,
called.
couple sticks, dude pulling you, little couch in the back.
No clue that was
Or a
called
chair.
a rickshaw.
Yeah, man. I need a rickshaw. Me and Sprocket getting pulled out by you before every game.
By me?
Yeah.
No,
They put a
Ricky,
horn on that bad boy.
You've got to pull the rickshaw.
No, I'm not going to pull my own shaw. If Rick don't pull the shaw, Rick gets in the rickshaw and is pulled by a certified OSHA-approved rickshaw.
How would you deck
specialist.
it out? How would it look? Paint job? What are we doing? What's your...
Flames, for sure. Real flames. Engine. It'd have a diesel engine, but it wouldn't be used because it's a rickshaw.
You pull it.
It would be strictly for fire and sparks, which we couldn't then make it out of wood because we'd probably burn it down. We're still in the planning phase. We're in R&D right now, mostly R, not so much D.
No, there's
not any D. We're in the R stage.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping to get to the D soon, and then after that, we'll see where it takes us.
I clipped the show up, and there's a wonderful clip in there somewhere.
You take it any way you want. You can misconstrue my words and switch them around, and I know what you're going to do. All right, I caught the joke. I heard myself say it. That's how it goes when you got the rickshaw, baby. Sometimes you got to.
Wasn't really a word more so a letter.
I get it. I get it. I'm dealing with a man who is on paper an adult and a parent, but intellectually is just as foolish as I am. So.
I've been trying to get to the coaching staff for 5 minutes, but you've been talking about
well,
rickshaw.
I had to educate you on what a rickshaw is, man. You've gone your whole life. You
totally
had a
fine with
child
going
before
past
you knew what a rickshaw was. You got married before you were aware of the existence of a rickshaw. I got to help you out. I got to let you know. This is my thing.
Totally fine with blowing by that without knowing what that was. But you just kept saying the words rickshaw. I had to ask you what that was.
Maybe I could get the astronaut racers to pull it.
That's the idea.
That's the move.
That should be Sprocket's first entrance of the season, is them pulling him in on a rickshaw.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, we're in the R stage. We're working on it.
Not much D yet.
Not so much D.
All right.
No D.
The coaching staff this year coming back for the Trash Pandas, of course, manager Andy Schatzley returning for his second season. Hey, his first year, pretty good. Pretty good. They won the first half and the second half. They were the Southern League champions.
Regular season.
And then didn't go that way in the postseason.
Yeah.
But it's a heck of a first year for manager Andy Schatzley. Saw several guys get called up. A few of them got called straight up to the
many
club.
times, yeah, man.
So
had a great season last year. Great season. The greatest in Trash Pandas history. I'll go ahead and say it right now.
whoa.
Yeah, I know.
It-
The rickshaw's
It's up
not
there.
afraid to make statements that are a little crazy, all right?
It's up there.
The rickshaw will keep rolling and throw that out. Greatest season in Trash Pandas history, no doubt. Most home wins in all of minor league baseball. That's 120 teams. We were numero uno.
Yeah.
And my man steals bases like he cashes them in at the end of the game and gets a check for every base he steals because I love it. The Pandas are exciting on the base paths. And with Andy Schatzley back, I expect them to be very active again this season.
Yeah, Jimmy Johns was our activation last year. I'm not sure if they are again this year.
No, I don't think so.
But that was, they got they had to shell out some coupons.
You want to get your business out here, you want to get them heard. As long as Schatzley's at the helm, we're going to be stealing bases.
Dude, Sonny D tried to steal a few bases last year. Okay, that's how aggressive
He got one.
he is. That's how
He got
aggressive Schatz is on the base path. Hitting coach, first year Sean Kazmar Jr. First year with the Trash Pandas.
Sick.
We'll get to him more here in a minute, a little more there. The most tenured coach in Trash Pandas history. Been here every year. Pitching coach Michael Wirtz in his third season. And, obviously, he's doing a pretty good job. Look at the guys that have moved up. I mean, there have been the Angels, at the end of our first season during the draft, they drafted 20 pitchers. We saw quite a few of them come through here, and they're all doing really well. I mean, we're probably still going to see one that's towards the top of the Angels' farm system because he was hurt a lot last year. But you're going to see Sam Bachman probably take a big step forward. You saw Ben Joyce come in here towards the end of the year, and when he got here, he was just a guy that could throw really fast. He turned into a pitcher in his short time here. We still might be able to see him a little at the beginning. I didn't think so at all, but Aaron thinks that we might be able to see him a little to start the year. And then, of course, he's been here. This is going to be his third year. So in the 2 years he's been here, we've seen guys like Reed Detmers go up and get called up to be a professional or to be in the Major League Baseball.
Only solo no-hitter last season.
Yeah, threw a solo no-hitter last year. We've seen several Trash Pandas pitchers get called up and do well. in the major league.
That pitching staff was full of dogs last year,
right,
man. Full of dogs.
That's right.
I don't know if we'll get Chase Silseth back. That dog probably going to be on the major league roster, I would imagine. These are all projections I've based off like a few tweets I've seen, so this is not insider info by any means. But you got to think we'll get a lot of those arms back, at least to start off the year. I'd love to see Bachman again. I'm seeing videos of him. He's coming back from the injuries he was dealing with last year. Man, he's looking like he's at 100%. I saw him throwing 96. I don't think I saw him get up to 96 last season, so I'm saying to see him at 96 now, it's like, oh, wow,
96
okay.
doesn't sound
He
like
was already pretty tough, and now he's adding velocity. I'm ready to see these guys.
He looks like a pitcher, too.
Bunch of dogs. Almost killed me in the parking lot one day. I pulled out. I went too fast. He's got a very big truck. He was doing the same thing. We almost hit. It was a thing. He was very nice, very apologetic. Class act right there. And
dog.
Absolute dog.
Coach Dan
Get
Billard,
a flea collar for these boys because they're about to.
Dan Billardello will be back for his second year with the Trash Pandas. A new strength and conditioning coach, Dave Robertson.
Oh.
And then a new athletic trainer in T.D. Swinford. His
TD.
first year with the Trash Pandas. I wanted to go back to Sean Kazmar Jr., his first year with.
I think it's Casimir.
It's spelled Kazmar. I think it's Casimir, too. Because he played for the Braves. That's what I wanted to get
I was going to say, that name sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he played for 18 years. He appeared in, here it says, over 1,700 games.
That's a lot.
He played with the Padres, but he also played with the Braves in 2021. He retired a champion.
Let's go.
So he was part of that World Series run there. I struggle when I see the names listed down. It's spelled Kazmar, but I believe you're right. It is Kazmir.
I know. 6-letter words. Woo.
It's Kazmir.
Get me out of here.
I'm just
Brutal.
pronouncing
Brutal.
them how I read them, man.
2 syllables.
Sound.
I know. We're really just jipping at each other.
Goodness, dude. What I do? You popped my balloon today.
You
What
came
I
at
do?
me, man.
When? What I
I don't know.
Wednesday it was I suck. Now it's
As I told you, there's a term of endearment. You understood, you'd understand.
So we have a world champion coaching the team.
Let's go.
So pretty excited about the Trash Panda season. I'm curious to see who we are going to get back this year that we've seen on the team a few times. Well, we've had guys, we've had a couple of guys that have been here for the first 2 seasons, right? Like Orlando Martinez, I want to say.
Well, the thing is, like, from year 1 to 2, we had a few guys carry over. I think we'll have more from 2 to 3 carry over just because the guys were so young last year.
It's pretty young.
And it's not like the Angels still got Shohei. They still got Trout. Like, they got a pretty solid lineup there, so it's not like they're going to be bringing in a ton of youth, at least in the field. Mm-hmm. Pitching-wise, I'm sure there'll be some guys we'll probably never see again. You know, if we never see Chase Silseth again, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But
pitched 7 innings of the no-hitter we had here.
That's right. But just, the Angels are really, when they first started, or when the Pandas first started, you know, the Angels farm system was always something that people looked at and went, yeah. And just in a few years, they've really turned that thing around. Fantastic management over there with the Angels, and we're seeing it with these guys. And I think we'll have a lot of returners. We'll have a lot of guys that know how to play in front of this crowd and love doing so. So I'm pumped to see it. And all the new guys, too. I'm reading about some of the other prospects that the Angels have that were maybe in rookie ball last year that we're going to get to see this year. So, man, it's exciting stuff. I can't wait to see that roster. Like, I can't wait.
I've been looking forward to
out.
it also because I can't wait to see the guys that we saw last year. I'm pretty positive we'll see Sonny D back this year.
A lot of guys, too, like a lot of guys from our first team, the next year the Angels didn't pick up their option on them. So they played maybe Double-A or somewhere. Like you saw Luis Aviles in Pensacola, Ray Patrick Ditter was there. Like a lot of guys that were on the team that were gone. A lot of the guys from last year, whether they, you know, Double-A, Triple-A, Major League, they're still with the Angels organization. So I would expect a lot more returners.
I sure hope so, man. A lot of the guys here that were here at the end of the year last year, again, you'll probably see Sonny D here again. I would imagine one of the best fielders, probably the best outfielder we've had in Trash Pandas history, Bryce Teodosio, should be back. That dude is what'd you say? Oh, no. He's really, really
Guy's
good.
a rickshaw out there. He covers ground.
That's right.
He pulls his own rickshaw out there in center field.
He is so good. I really hope to see him back. Well, I'm really curious to see what happens with Aaron Whitefield and Trey Cabbage, right? Like, Trey was electric but didn't play the second half of the season because he was hurt pretty bad. Whitefield flirted with the Angels for a while. He was up there for a little bit and then came back down with us to finish the year. Curious to see where they pick that relationship back up this year into spring training and everything else. So I don't know what's going to happen with those guys all season. Again, like I said earlier, I heard that we could be seeing Ben Joyce here again, at least to start the season. You'll see Sam Bachman probably here. Some guys that I'm curious to see what happens with. I don't know if the Angels have picked them up or what, but since they moved on from the Trash Pandas, I don't know what's gone on with them, like Torrey Hunter Jr. He was a late call up to AAA last year. I don't know what we're going to see with Torrey Hunter Jr. But to your point, mentioning some of those younger players like I did with Bryce and Sonny, you had, I can't think of his name. I can see his face. Josh just interviewed him.
Jeremiah Jackson.
Jeremiah Jackson was a lot of fun. We're going to see Neto much, you think?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal.
I don't know how much we'll see Neto, but he's really, really good. He's probably not long for Double-A. O'Hoppy's going to be a professional baseball player, or a Major League Baseball player pretty quickly, I would imagine. So
it'd be really great, though, if we got Trey Cabbage and Aaron Whitefield to start the year, which, I mean, I guess I could see that happening, especially with Trey getting hurt so early on last year.
He was invited to spring training, I believe.
Yeah, he is. So. And I know our fans would love it. I mean, we only got to experience Cabbage Mania for about a month, but it was alive. I mean, saw people with the cabbage heads, the signs, all that. Guy was a fan favorite the whole season, and he was done for the year by like mid-May. So
my favorite Trey Cabbage moment. We had him on the show one time, and then we never saw him again because he got hurt. But he came on the show, and he had just had an electric night. And we'd interviewed him about that, and he was like, we went out and we partied pretty good. And we celebrated real good. So I don't think I'm going to be worth much today. He said that on the radio show, and then after the game, like right before the game started, you caught up with him in the tunnel, and he was like, "Hey, I took."
Well, the thing is, no, he told us he was going to play like garbage, and we were
absolutely did.
Well, that's tough. All right, rough day, but it's like we'll see. Goes out there first at bat, hits like a 460-foot home run,
smashed.
And so I'm standing there, I'm like, wait, didn't that guy tell us he wasn't feeling good today? Like, if he's not feeling good today, man, tomorrow ought to really be fun. So I caught up with him after he hit that home run. I saw him in the tunnel. I look at him, I'm like, hey, so not feeling good today, huh? He's like, man, I'm going to be honest. I snuck a nap in the janitor's closet around 3 o'clock. That set me up, man. I'm good.
I thought you had that conversation before. Okay, it was after the home run. He took like a 20-minute nap in the
just took power nap, janitor's closet, probably on top of a broom and a mop bucket, sniffing ammonia.
Smoked it.
And then, wake up, put your gear on, hit the box, and take a fastball to the moon.
Mm. He had one of the longest home runs I think I've ever seen. We've seen 2 moonshots over the batter's eye, but Trey Cabbage had a home run that wasn't measured properly. He had a home run that was hit in the air into that gravel parking lot back there, and it was measured at like 420 or something. Or it was sort of like 360. It was something small.
Yeah, Next Gen Stats came back and was like, look, you got to check with us in 500 years. The device we need to measure that doesn't exist yet.
That was probably one of the longest home runs I've ever seen. That was a monster. And then, of course, we had in the year 21, Birdman. What was his name? Robbie Tenero had hit one over the batter's eye. That was a monster home run. And then I can't think of the guy's name who did it. It was against us.
Ely De La Cruz.
De La Cruz. That was it, yes. That guy's
a top prospect.
He is a ball player for sure.
He played for Chattanooga. That's the Reds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is a
very good
player.
A very, very tall shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
Like 6'5".
I'm excited for the Smokies to come back again to Toyota Field because that turned into a pretty good rivalry last year. Not only did they put us out of the playoffs, but they were 2 really good ball clubs that had some really good chippy games, had really good ball players. Like, again, not necessarily guys that are ready to move up to Major League Baseball right now, but really good performers here, like Bryce Ball for them and other guys that were smacking home runs at the top of that lineup. Very good. Gave us a lot of trouble. So I'm excited to see that team.
What was that one guy's name? Perlaza? Jonathan Perlaza.
Jonathan, yeah.
Oh, that guy haunts my dreams. He was so good.
It was Bryce Ball for me. It felt like every time Bryce Ball played us, he'd hit a home run or two in this series.
I hope both of those guys get closer to their dream of playing in the pros.
Yeah, we hope the best for you.
I don't want to see you here anymore.
Robert says, I think that one homer by Cabbage was closer to 500. I think it was closer to like 5,000 feet.
I think it was 5,000. I think the ball ran a marathon by the time it had landed.
It was disgusting. So, Trash Panda season starts April 6th. Get ready for that. Hopefully the team is going to be – we're going to see a lot of the same players. So, the team should be a pretty good ball club with a lot of the same coaching staff coming back. So,
asterisk.
Possibly. Well, yeah. I mean, we don't know. We have no idea. We're waiting for that. We can't wait for that roster. In other baseball news, though, you were talking about the pitching staff and how good that pitching staff was for us.
No.
On the major league level, it is kind of weird to do a podcast with the Trash Pandas, work for the Trash Pandas, and have a love and adoration for the Trash Pandas players, but be Major League Baseball Braves fans. Because, I mean, I grew up a Braves fan. I really don't pull for the Mississippi Braves until they become, like Michael Harris. Wasn't a Michael Harris fan until he was an Atlanta Brave, because the Atlanta Brave is not a Trash Panda rival. The Mississippi Braves are. So that part of it is weird, but the Braves pitching staff is really coming together really, really well, and they're looking at, maybe because of how good that pitching staff is the starting rotation is, they're looking at going to 6 starters potentially, depending on who gets that 5th spot. However, there was a little bit of a setback today. They're withholding Mike Soroka from training because he now has hamstring tightness.
This guy.
He's the D-Rose of Major League Baseball. Came out hot, looked really, really good, and now he cannot stay healthy. D-Rose had knee problems. Soroka, it's anything below the waist as well, but pretty much, well, no, the hammies above the knee. But he had the 2 Achilles tears, and then now he's suffering from...
How do you go into day 1 with tightness?
I wish I could tell you, dude. That is scary to think about already.
What were you doing that... Is stretching an option? Is that a dumb thing to say? is that too simple?
I think
I don't know. Was he ever loose? Has there ever been a time he was loose? And they were like, all right, well, hey, practice in a week. We can't do it. And then a week went by, and he's like, temperature dropped and tight again. Like, what is that? How's that happen?
I wish I could tell you, but
I think the same thing happened with DeGrom. He was, like, shut down for tightness. And it's like, what? You haven't even done anything yet, and you're already tight. What are we going to do during the season?
He's not a full go for spring training because of hamstring tightness.
Can you look up the definition of tightness as far as how it is in sports?
I feel like
injuries?
It's self-explanatory. Do we need?
No, but I know. But like, when do you cross the level of tightness to strain? How? And
I'd never thought that'd be a thing I could like explain with words. It's like, oh, it's hamstring tightness. Oh, I know what that feels like. Okay, you know.
Is there a moderate tightness? Is there severe tightness?
There are levels of tightness.
What kind of tightness are we talking?
Think it's just,
can he bend his legs? Is he doing this number? Is he having a penguin walk?
Jalen Waddle in it?
Coach, I'm tight. I can't bend my knees.
Something tells me it's any level of tightness in the hamstring, severe or not, is.
So the deal is you got a little tightness and you pitch on it. That tightness turns into something worse.
Well, I think in this case, it's the fact that you have another leg something with a guy who just tore 2, I almost said ACLs, but
Achilles?
Yeah, Achilles.
Yeah.
He tore 2 Achilles.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Twice.
I guess you got to be cool. You got to take it. You know who never had tightness? Nolan Ryan. 27 years, never missed a game for tightness. Only thing tight was that fastball painting the corners.
I don't know if that's 100% true.
I don't either.
Something tells me I bet I could find Nolan Ryan set out a game for tightness or something.
Good luck. Good luck, Butch.
So this is what your 6-man rotation could look like for the Braves this year. Talk about how sweet this would be. Max Fried.
Sweet.
Kyle Wright, who's a local. who won 21 games
Friend of
last
the
year.
show.
Friend of the show, absolutely. He
go
was
ahead
going to
and throw
come
that
on, but
there.
he wasn't. So I texted him to get him on the podcast, and it was a little too late to get him on. He's like, unfortunately, he said, I'm probably not going to be able to make it back into town because, you had Sean Murphy. He and Sean were working out in Nashville a bunch, and that's where Kyle works out anyway. And he was like, I probably won't be able to make it in time because we got spring training and stuff coming up, but he will be back at some point. Like maybe we can get him on during the All-Star break like we did last year. But he does want to come back on. He expressed interest in coming back out here. But he won 21 games last year. So Max Fried, you're the top of your rotation. Kyle Wright right behind him. Spencer Strider, Rookie of the Year, or finished runner-up in Rookie of the Year last year to his own teammate in Michael Harris.
Stash.
You've got Charlie Morton, who was like fifth, who struggled the first half of the year and still finished like fifth in the NL in strikeouts.
Charlie Morton's body has been experiencing tightness since 2013.
That's right.
Hadn't spent a single day loose since then.
And then potentially Mike Soroka and Ian Anderson as your 5 and 6.
That's pretty good.
That's a
pretty sweet lineup there.
Way more than pretty good. That is elite.
Well, you know what? Take it cool, Soroka. You treat your tightness, get nice and loose. Maybe hit a sauna. I don't know. Maybe go down to a local pharmacy, get one of those little massage things. They got them in the aisle with the walkers and the reading glasses and all the braces. You go get one of those things, you strap it to your leg, it'll massage for you. That's like having a little trainer at home.
That's right. Yeah.
You're going to want that. Yeah. My man's tight.
I can't.
Has anyone ever missed a game for being too loose? I can't even. I can't even raise my arm to catch it.
Coach, I don't have bones.
Coach, I can't carry my glove today. I'm too loose. It feels like I don't have any bones.
I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think that's ever happened.
You know who never missed a game to looseness? Nolan Ryan.
Nobody.
Yeah, he was perfectly strung his whole career.
He was perfectly stretched.
He looked like a guitar, always tuned. He's like a Les Paul. That's what I used to call him.
You ever called him that?
Oh, yeah. All the time. I used to call him Bob Seger in the Silver Bullet Band because that sucker was always ready to go when the lights came on. We're working on the night moves. No one gonna get on that mound because it's loose. We're working on night moves.
So I have a question for you on behalf of, I think, anybody that's ever heard you on the radio, on this show, or just seen you in general, do your thing.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
What?
You know what I mean? Where do you go?
What are you talking about? I'm here. I'm in the room. I'm in the room with you.
No, but where do you go? You know what I mean? Where's your mind wander?
I'm just tapping on old memories, man. I've been in baseball for 35 years. When you have that kind of wealth of knowledge, you can harken back to moments like the little mental Rolodex I've got up here, Tony Mac.
Oh my God, that was
Let
good.
me tell you something, brother. I remember when I was on the road with the Macho Man Randy Savage. He told me, I don't know if I could do the elbow drop tonight, Rick. I'm feeling a little tight. I said well, I didn't say that like that because I told Randy, I said, hey, the tighter the elbow, the better it looks. He said, right on, brother. Hey, cream of the crop, right here. Let's go. And he went on, he won the Intercontinental Championship that night. Yeah.
He saw you sitting next to Miss Elizabeth, and you got kicked out.
I had my wife there. I said, Randy, welcome my wife. This is Miss Morgan right here. He said, what do you mean you're calling her Miss Morgan? There's only one Miss in the wrestling business. It's a Miss Elizabeth, brother. Yeah, we're going this way. How about that? Where do I go? I don't know. It's a Friday. I'm happy the weekend's here. I'm a little loopy.
Hey, it's a long weekend, too.
Oh, how did the Macho Man talk like that his whole life?
I don't ask you to do that anymore because out of respect of you, because you talk about how much it hurts your throat.
Ow.
Because my favorite impression
I've got vocal tightness right now, man. My cords are tightening up.
My favorite impression that you do, but it destroys your throat, is when you do the Pharrell.
Pharrell on the bench?
Yeah.
Sports radio legend, if you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to do the voice. You Google it all you want.
I won't ask you to do it, but your impression of him is immaculate.
I'm not going to do it, brother. Not today.
It's immaculate.
No.
It's really, really good. All right, I want to talk about let's get into some. Well, I was going to get into basketball.
Let's get into. Oh, God,
I wanted to get into basketball, but there was one more baseball story that we had that I said we were going to bring up the Fred McGriff thing. Fred McGriff, Ricky had mentioned we did a draft of our top 5 players each that weren't in the Hall of Fame that should be. And Ricky took Fred McGriff towards the bottom of his top 5. And shortly after that, the committee that puts veterans in that fall through the cracks put Fred McGriff in the Hall of Fame. And in Major League Baseball, in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, the player gets to pick what team he wants on his plaque. Fred McGriff elected to go with. Now, he played with several teams. He played, I think, with 3 teams for like a bulk of his career, split between 15 years. And he decided to go with nobody. He's leaving the teams off of his plaque.
Respectful.
He's a traitor. Traitor.
It's respectful. That's respect to Tom Emanski and the entire generations of baseball players that he taught to play the game via those Tom Emanski instructional tapes. And in the commercials, what kind of hat's he wearing? A no-logo hat. All right? Fred is an ambassador of the game of baseball. He is a sensei. He is the Mr. Miyagi to every kid that played baseball from 1992 and on. All right? He should be wearing a hat with a big baseball on it. Whatever. You say it all you want. What, you want to wear a Braves hat?
Well, yeah, because the bulk of his accomplishments were with the Atlanta Braves. He was a 5-time All-Star, 3 of them with Atlanta. He was a 1-time world champion. Atlanta. Yes.
He only played in Atlanta for 5 seasons.
Correct.
5 seasons out of 18.
Right, but like I said, he played 15 of his 19 seasons were split between 3 teams.
5 in Toronto. 2 in San Diego. 1 in TOT.
That means total. It means he played with 2 teams in the same season.
Played for 2 teams that year, not Atlanta. And finished as high as the 4th in the MVP vote that year. Oh, no, he did partially play with Atlanta that season. All right. Man, you got a pretty good point.
He was a 5-time All-Star. 3 of them
now
were
you got
in
a pretty
Atlanta,
good point.
And then 3 of them were in Atlanta, and then the World Series championship in '95. So the Braves had the strongest claim to claim him. However, when it comes to baseball, you get to pick the team that claims you, and Fred said nobody. Everybody claims me by me leaving my logo off, which I get the respect of the other teams. I don't care about the other teams. You were my childhood, dude. Be a Brave in the Hall of Fame.
Do the Devil Rays have any Hall of Famers?
I was going to say
does anyone claim
now,
to Tampa?
But they don't now. This was their opportunity.
Let's see. Guys that have played for the the Rays that are in the Hall of Fame. Wade Boggs. There's no way he took the Rays as his team.
No shot.
And Fred McGriff. Only 2. There's only 2 guys that have ever played for the. Fred should have went full Devil Rays. That's what he should have done. That's build another legacy. You could wear an Atlanta hat and be another one of the faces in the crowd of all of the great Atlanta years. Or you go into the Hall of Fame as a Devil Ray, and you're the first ever, man. You're the first ever number enshrined at the baseball, sanctuary that is Tropicana Field.
The Mecca.
The Mecca of the Diamond. The indoor facility, Tropicana Field. You could have had the first ever Hall of Fame banner in that building. But you know who's going to get it now? Probably who might? Evan Longoria. I don't know. Who will be the first Rays Hall of Famer?
That's tough because my Major League Baseball
in
knowledge
20
is
years,
not,
Randy Arozarena. That's right. You could have had Fred. You could have had the only Devil Ray in Hall of Fame history. You could have had that down for at least 2 decades, I think. And you missed it. It's a shame. But also classy. Tommy Mansky somewhere shedding a tear.
So
if he's still alive.
The Rays have the Rays Hall of Fame, and that doesn't.
How many people are in the Rays? Is there anybody in that Hall of Fame?
Yeah, they put Wade Boggs in there.
Well, of course.
Don Zimmer.
Is it just a bunch of pictures of Wade Boggs and Don Zimmer?
And Carl Crawford.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Don Zimmer. I love how they threw Don Zimmer there, like Don Zimmer, like his entire career in baseball. Like, yeah, we look back at the Tampa Bay years. Hall of Famer, no doubt. Made that franchise what it is.
The question is, do the Rays have a Hall of Famer? And then the article goes on to talk about the Rays Hall of Fame. So that should tell you all.
That answer is no.
All right. Wow. But yeah, Fred McGriff electing to leave off a logo and just kind of, represent all the teams that he played for, which again, if you're a fan of any of the other teams, that's cool. As a Braves fan, that sucks because he had most of his accomplishments as a Brave. So
yeah. But don't ever forget about the Tampa years. He wore that ugly uniform just like Wade Boggs did.
I wake up trying to forget about the Tampa years all the time. So
they have a roof. And sometimes baseballs hit it. Tropicana still attached to that? That's still Trop. Is that still the Trop? Because I got a theory that the ballpark is so bad that I think having your name attached to it is still pretty good marketing-wise if you're Tropicana. Like, you don't – it's such a negative that I believe it becomes a positive. Because if it was just an average field, no one would even know what it's called. Like, I don't know what the field for the no, I do know that. Pick a random team.
I'm trying to think of one that I wouldn't know the name of the field for.
Miami Marlins.
Okay.
You know?
No.
That's a divisional team for the Braves.
I feel like I should know that.
You should know that, right?
It's going to hit me right as I get done typing it, probably. Why don't I know the Marlins field? I think it's just Marlins Park, right? Let me see.
I don't know. But that's the thing. You didn't have to Google the Trop. We did, but it was still there.
Oh, it's Lone Depot Park.
No one's calling it that. No one's calling it that. Even if it was a terrible park, no one would call it Lone Depot Park. But the Trop is so bad that I call it the Trop. It's earned a nickname, and people still talk about it. So if you're going to have a ballpark, either have one that's awesome or make it a complete disaster.
It was Marlins Park until 2020. Okay, I thought that was – so it's only been Lone Depot Park for a while. It was Marlins Park from 2012 to 2020. So, well, there you go.
Rocco Baldelli, first ever Tampa Bay Rays Hall of Famer. Is he not in their Hall of Fame yet? He should be. He's getting snubbed. I want to see cameras follow. You know how when they call people for the Hall of Fame now, they'll have camera crews and they'll surprise them and it'll be beautiful moments and the family of the player and everything and they cry and and all. Yeah. They should do that for the Tampa Bay Rays Hall of Fame. They're calling who's a random Ray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just gonna look up a random Rays roster.
Is it bad that I can't think of just one random Ray from back in the?
Who was the
I dropped a Rocco Baldelli.
Who's the Rays pitcher that when they went to the World Series back in when we were in high school, 08, 09?
I don't know. I'm thinking before there. I'm thinking the real garbage days. Back when they still had Devil in the title.
I'm trying to think of who their pitcher was that year because I can see his face.
But a camera crew at David Price's house, years from now.
David
and they're
Price, I was trying to think
David, we got news for you. It's finally happening. He's like, oh, my God. What, am I going in? You are. Into the Tampa Bay Rays Hall of Fame. And
David Price is who I was trying to think of, by the way. Thank you.
Oh.
It's exactly who I was trying to think of.
Yeah. There's a reason why they don't make documentaries about that announcement. Or any, there's no PR videos for that. It probably just ends with, okay. Mm-hmm. Cool.
So,
do I have to go? Do I have to be there for it? What you got? You got anything else?
Oh, yeah. I was going to talk about some college basketball in a minute, but I was letting you ride all the Tampa Bay Devil Ray you could out of your system.
I think I'm tapped.
Is there a website where it's just there's got to be, right, a random player generator, but you can specify a team?
Obscure player generator.
Gotta be.
Random NFL player generator. Random NFL or NBA generator. Yeah, they do exist. Pick a random team, a random league, give it to me. I'm going to guess the first obscure name that comes to me, and let's see if we can predict what this machine spits out.
Okay.
Any sport, whatever.
I got a baseball players generator.
All right.
Okay, that just has a list of players.
Yeah, you didn't go to the right one.
Didn't even know. You pull it up.
There you go.
You seem like you've got it over there.
All right, one random. It doesn't let you do teams though, so that's
going to be tough.
going to make it tough. You now have to just pick one player out of the entire history of basketball.
Well,
All right,
here.
this is not working.
Give me your computer.
Okay.
Well, once it lets you type the one in, is it going to let you do the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, one random. You can't. Well, all right. That'll work.
I'm going to tell you who he plays for,
All right.
and see if
All
you
right.
can guess him. I'm
Well,
going to
that's
give you
close.
hints. Generate what we got here.
It's baseball or it's basketball.
It's basketball.
All right.
What do you want for? You want a hint?
Give me the team.
Magic.
Obscure?
No,
No.
not really.
Is it like Dwight Howard?
Yeah, it's Dwight Howard.
No, this stunk.
Oh,
All
I'm
right,
doing
this
another one.
is-
I'm
all
doing another one.
right. All right.
I'm trying to you
Keep hitting generate until it's obscure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, not
Come on now.
quite. One more. Let me go one more. This should be good. 'Cause
All
they're
right.
Given
There you go.
less and less popular. That's really. These are all popular players, dude. Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
What team? What are we looking at? Ooh, we got a chuckle.
It's because his pictures of him in college.
All right, go.
He played for Syracuse.
Jerry McNamara.
No. I'm going to look up where he played in professional. I want to say he was a Bull at one point, maybe, but I
A
could be
Bull
thinking of someone
at
else.
one point. He played at Syracuse.
I might be thinking of a former Michigan State player that played it for the Bulls, but he's a former Boston Celtic from 2012 to 2013. Played at Syracuse, and then he has been around a bunch of leagues that are not in America since then. Stopped playing in 2017.
Play the Celtics. Ram. Was that guy with the last name of Christmas?
No, that's a good guess. That's a good guess.
You remember
though.
him?
Yeah, it's a solid guess.
It's a forward or a center, isn't it? It's someone.
Yeah, it's a little bigger guy.
Give it to me.
Fab Mello.
Fab Mello.
Fab Mello.
Yeah.
I was getting confused with what was his name, Denzel Valentine or whatever his name was from
Sure.
Michigan State, because he kind of looked like him in that picture. So, yeah.
All right.
So there you go. Speaking of basketball, though, we had a huge. So the SEC season is getting down to the final stretch. We got a few weeks left before we get into the conference championship, and the conference tournament's big for Alabama because. And the close of the season is big for Alabama because they're pushing for a number one seed. You got teams that are pushing to get in the tournament. Some are projecting 7 SEC teams getting in, but Auburn feels like they need to punch their ticket. So they got a big one coming up here against Vanderbilt, I believe, tomorrow. But Alabama, their schedule is important because they're trying to clinch a number one seed, right? They want to that accomplishment is something that would be big for Alabama fans around here. I know Nate Oates probably isn't going to focus on that too much, but that does make it easier on you if you're able to grab a one seed. That campaign fell a tad short on Wednesday when they lost to Tennessee. They had an opportunity. If they got past Tennessee, they had a great chance to go undefeated in the SEC in the regular season. Obviously not going to happen now. Some are saying that they're questioning whether that affects their seeding or not. All I want to talk about is what I saw in that game specifically, because even though Alabama lost that game by 9 points in Knoxville, I still didn't come away super impressed with Tennessee. And it was mainly because of their offensive side of the ball. I know that these two teams play really great defensively, and that may have had something to do with it. But it just looked like Alabama, what they were trying to do wasn't working. Like plays that they had drawn up, they were turning the ball over way too much. But Tennessee, it ended up working out for them. But a lot of the time, like Guy Ziegler's shot selection, not a big fan of how he just kind of ran around trying to make stuff happen, and it didn't seem like a lot of structure going on there, and it's a team that struggled shooting the ball a lot. Their defense is going to keep them in games, and if that offense does start clicking towards the end of the year, that is a team that could go to a Final Four, no doubt. Alabama is still a team that's talented enough to go to a Final Four, but they have got to stop turning the ball over. They've got to stop. We talked about this.
I don't think they ever will be.
We talked about this at the beginning of the year. They were doing that against lesser teams and still winning those games, especially early in the SEC season, I believe. They were having turnover issues in like the first half of games, and they were still winning because they were better than those teams. When you play a team like Tennessee that's, as deep and talented, then you can't afford that. Because I still think Alabama was the better team that turned the ball over too much, and they lost by 9 points. You can't turn the ball over. 19 turnovers to 8 last night or Wednesday night. 19-8.
I don't know what it is about Nate Oates' basketball teams, but turnovers are apparently just part of it. I don't know if they will ever fix that thing because it's been an issue for them for so long, man. I mean, like the whole year you could have said, well, if they just fix their turnovers, they'll be all right. And it's insanity, dude.
I think it has something to do with the pace they play at because they are a tempo team.
Well, yeah, that's going to come with it. They move fast. They try to get a lot of score, but some of it's just sloppiness. I mean, a lot of that you saw against Tennessee too. I was very impressed by Tennessee. I thought their defense was so stifling that Alabama. I mean, it was almost like watching a football game. I was thinking while I was watching it because it's like every point is so valuable because there's a chance where both teams might go like 3 or 4 possessions in a row and not get a bucket. Like, they were both playing some good defense, but Tennessee's really, I mean, the whole game was just shutting down Alabama. And Tennessee's movement on offense allowed them to get buckets that they needed. Alabama is so frustrating to watch sometimes, especially when they're down. There's no movement. They all just stand around. What did I tell you when we were talking about this game before it happened? I said, the thing is, about Alabama is when they get down, they want to try to get all the points back at once, and it turns into hero ball. And that's what you saw. You saw whoever had the ball, especially Jaden Bradley. He's very much a ball hog, and he's a good player, very good player, makes a lot of stuff happen. But if the pass is there, he will opt for himself over the pass. And once that happens, your 3-point shooters are now locked up. They're not moving anywhere. They're not getting a spot. And then when you drive the lane, Tennessee's defense was good to not collapse to give that up. It was exactly what Alabama does when they're down. I said Tennessee's got to slow it down. They got to get to an early lead. They did exactly that, and Alabama they just can't function that way. They turn it over. They stand around.
Well, I guess
granted, very good team on the road,
Absolutely.
9-point loss, nothing. No problem there. I mean, probably still looking at a 1 seed Alabama as long as they just win the games that they're supposed to win. But I mean, there's going to be teams like Tennessee that can do that. I told them, I told you as well. Like they're not good with the big guys. Plavsic down there had a great game, man, and he was kind of getting in the head of a lot of guys on Alabama.
Plopchich or whatever.
Oh, Plopchich.
Yeah.
So something about a big dominant guy, and always has a good game against Alabama. You're
absolutely right. Like, I'm not trying to take away from Tennessee defensively at all because they have had good. So was Alabama on the defensive side of the ball. But I guess I shouldn't say I was unimpressed. I was a little disappointed because Tennessee should have won by so much more.
Yeah.
They left a lot of meat on the bone. Go look at and Alabama's defense affected it for sure. But they also just miss a lot of shots. Tennessee at halftime, I had tweeted about that. Alabama had made 9 shots at halftime and taken like 21. Tennessee had only made 11 shots at halftime, and they had taken 16 more shots than Alabama. Like, they took way more shots and just can't get them to fall. Some of that, of course, is impeded by the fact that Alabama is good on the defensive side of the ball, but Tennessee has shot so poorly at times this year that it can just be credited to them not really being they love to shoot. They're just not really that great at it. They were 6-23 from the three-point line. Look at that. They only hit 6 more shots than Alabama did, and they took 15 more.
Well, it's like the other night. They held Auburn to 43.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah.
And scored 46. So, I mean, you hold a team to 43, you ought to win by like 20.
Exactly. Tennessee should have won this game by at least 15 points. The way they stifled 19 turnovers, the way they forced Alabama into a bunch of mistakes, a team that good, when you stifle a team that good, Alabama was still in this game. Like, a lot of the times you can see a team being so good that even though they're getting slapped around, they're still in the game because they're that good. That honestly wasn't how it was on Wednesday to me. Alabama's a very good team, but they were getting smacked defensively by Tennessee. And the reason why Tennessee didn't win by more was because of Tennessee and their inability to shoot the basketball.
Yeah,
they could have and should have blown that wide open.
Yeah, I mean, they're relying too much on that defense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's not going to help them.
I mean, golly. Yeah, the shooting stats the other night against Auburn were brutal. I saw your tweet. Rick Barnes even said it at halftime, the interview there. Like, what do you think your team needs to do on defense? He's like, I don't care. We just need to make shots. And they were like, all right, so what do you think? What other adjustments do you think you need to bring in the second half? He's like, we need to make shots. Like, he didn't answer the question either time. He just yelled, "We need to make shots."
He's right, man.
And they do.
They just need to be better offensively. Alabama, I think, is fine because you can go back and look at that game. And in Tennessee, you can say, well, look, we won. We left a lot of meat on the bone, and it really didn't have too much to do with what Alabama was doing. There's a lot that we can do better and should have won by more. If you're Alabama, you're looking at that and going, man, we let one get away on the road. That stinks. We lost by 9. It wasn't great. But if we limit this one thing, I mean, we're in it. I mean,
where did Alabama shoot free throw wise?
They shot 80%, 16 of 20.
Okay, better than I thought.
A team that typically, I've been so frustrated since Nate Oates got there because, and I only say that because you paid attention a lot more when he got there. But since he's been there, I feel like they don't shoot the free throws very well. A team that likes to shoot, I guess I pay attention to the free throw shooting a lot more when you have a team like Nate Oates and a team like Tennessee that love to go out and shoot a bunch of threes and shoot open shots. Like when you're that good at doing that, how can you not shoot well at the free throw line? That drives me crazy. Some of my favorite championship teams, I always go back to like the 2012 Kentucky team with Anthony Davis because even though he was a big, that entire team top to bottom shot the free throw really, really well. The team that went undefeated until they lost in the Final Four shot the free throw really, really well. These good teams now, they don't have to.
Let me see the box score for that Alabama-Tennessee game because they've got some guys too that are starting to not play some great basketball. I mean, Noah Clowney got 31 minutes. I feel like he didn't do. I feel like I rarely heard his name called during the game.
JQ
Mark
had
Sears,
a bad game. JQ was awful.
Dude, Mark Sears. Look, I mean, 2 points, 1 for 6 from 3, or no, 1 from 6 from the field, 0 for 3 from the 3-point arc. Quinterly 1 for 5, 1 for 2 from 3.
Look at it.
Point guards are playing terrible.
He had 3 points and 6 turnovers.
Yeah.
Javon Quinterly played a very bad game.
The point guard's got to figure it out for Alabama. Sears has been playing bad for a little while now. I mean, he started off the year hot, number 2 scorer on the team outside of Brandon Miller. Since then, nothing. Quinterly has been able to pick up that slack, but when both of them play bad, you saw it against Tennessee. That offense just – you can't just hope for Brandon Miller to bail you out, especially against teams against Tennessee that can guard him.
I'm still telling you right now, I'm not worried about Alabama at all.
I'm not either.
It's one of those where just stop turning the ball over, guys, and you're going to be fine. Tennessee, I looked at them, and that is an incredible win in Knoxville. But I could still look at them beating the number 1 team at home and going, they're probably going to get beat early. They're going to get upset early because they're going to get a team's best shot where the defense, plays well, but it's basketball. Some crazy shots are just going to go in when you have the momentum. And I don't know that the way Tennessee shoots right now, they can't counter that. They can't.
Yeah. No, you're right. You run across a team that's shooting good, and you're going to be in trouble if you're Tennessee. But this is going to be a huge momentum boost for them.
Absolutely.
I mean, you lose 2 straight games on buzzer beaters.
Hey, dude, so they beat Alabama in football at home, and they threw the goalpost in the river. They beat the number 1 Alabama basketball team in the country at home. Why didn't they throw a goalpost? Why didn't they throw the other goalpost in the river?
I mean, when it comes to celebrating regular season wins, there's no one better than Tennessee. I don't know why they didn't just fill the whole arena with water and turn it into an aquarium. Then everything would have been underwater.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. We'll see you again. We're out on Monday because it is President's Day. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll have an Auburn UNA baseball game to recap because that game is on Tuesday. You can still get your tickets to that game at trashpandasbaseball.com. So if you want to come watch local UNA play in-state Auburn, come check that out. Auburn will be the home team here, even though UNA is on both of our dugouts. Auburn will be the home team here. Come check that baseball game out. It's going to be a ton of fun. That is on Tuesday. I'm Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky. We'll see you Wednesday from 2 to 3 right here on the Bullpen.
Happy President's Day.
Yeah.
Rutherford B. Hayes.
I was going to say a president, but then
right.
all the ones that rushed through my head, I'm like, someone will get mad about him or her or him.
Her?
Subjectively.
You should read more books.
Hit Hillary.
Okay.
She was almost one.
I'm sorry, Rutherford.
By the way, speaking of the presidents.
Oh, we're still going.
Yeah, but
okay.
But no, like seriously, I was joking around.
Mm-hmm.
If we went president for president game right here, you would destroy me. I'm
Rutherford B. Hayes.
Oh, I'd have to go low like Joe Biden.
Millard Fillmore.
Donald Trump.
James Monroe.
Barack Obama.
James K. Polk.
George Bush. W.
Thomas Jefferson.
Bill Clinton.
Abraham Lincoln.
George Sr.
George Washington.
Oh, man. Abraham Lincoln. Did you say him already?
Oh, you're out.
Yeah, see? Once we get past the ones in my lifetime, I'm in trouble. It's not good. I don't.
Hey, shout out to you.
FDR. He was one, right?
Hey, there you go.
FDR, baby. Woo! Happy President's Day. Good job, guys. Mr. Presidents. Great job.
Wow.
Whatever, dude. You've been mean to me all day. I don't know what your deal is, man.
I don't even know where to go at this point. I don't even want to hit stop because it was such a dead end, I feel like. Is there anything we can do to revive it at this point?
We'll find out Wednesday, 2 to 3. It's the bullpen.
What a tease. I love you, John Adams.